Good morning, everybody. Bright and early this morning. Thought I would connect. I'm working a little bit later today, so I thought I'd connect before I go off into Muggle world. Thank you all for following me, and Happy New Year to everybody. Um, a great thanks for all the support for last year. Last year was pretty gnarly. It had its good, it had its bad. It was very transformational for myself, and I believe it was very transformational for many of you out there, and especially as we are heading into another year. I spoke to a few people, and they're saying that it didn't feel like I guess it didn't feel like, New Year's, or are we, the new year or the energy. And I had mentioned that as we go from 22 to 23, there isn't going to be, you won't feel the difference. I mean, it is going to be still very gnarly. That's my word, gnarly. And as we are building up towards a full moon this week, so we have this full moon that's coming up in Capricorn. It is this culmination of energy, and especially this week. And I'm going to bring it up over here because I don't want to lose. For today, I'm just bringing up the chart for today on my other computer. Um, One of the things, especially today, we have a Venus passing Pluto. So Venus is past Pluto. Now, Venus and Pluto, they get along really well. And last year we went into the new year with the Venus retrograde. This year we're going in with a Mercury retrograde, and it brings in with this energy, and especially with Venus, about what are the things that are important to you. She's always about values. She's always about the things that you love. And especially with a full moon in Capricorn, Capricorn brings in those structures. And this is a time, and especially as Pluto is coming to the end of Capricorn, what are those structures? What are those things that you are wanting to bring forth? Now, one of the things that I keep picking up, and especially for my lovely little conference and Geminis, God bless my Geminis, but for Capricorn, these last degrees of Capricorn, it can be very difficult, especially with Pluto. So this is really coming into a lot of truth, of your standards, of what you are wanting to bring forth. Now, I'm going to caution a lot of, especially Capricorns or those who have a strong Capricorn energy in their chart, is just to really watch out for health. Is this and taking care of your health, especially in these last degrees of Pluto. It's one of those things where many Capricorns, especially this year, and as we're going through, I got the word judgment. It's like your judgment time. Are you really rising up out of the coffin towards the heavens? Are you rising up within your truth and within that of your own inner strength? And also to, stepping into it, or are you not wanting to rise up anymore? Are you not wanting to go forward? Is there something there that part of your soul is saying, I'm done? So this is something that you may have to recognize within your own self and ask yourself why, and ask yourself, are you going to be acceptance of that soul? And of that soul piece that's coming through. And is it truly your soul piece that's really telling you this, or is it something else? So I think Capricorns are really kind of And which is odd because Capricorns aren't really indecisive people. But it's also because Capricorns are usually this way or that way. I think it's also bridging the gap between the two and coming into that deep part of your humanity, that deep part of yourself, and allowing yourself to be able to adjust. Because the worst thing you could do for a Capricorn is change their schedule, adjust them, especially if they are not wanting to be adjusted. They don't like detours. So the Tower card can be explosive to them. It could be the Tower card for a Capricorn could be where it's just that they wake up and there's construction outside their house, and they didn't know about it, or they weren't notified about it, and that they have to take a new route to work, and that could throw their whole day off. Where many others are just like, oh, okay, where do I got to go? What do I, and formulate a new plan. Capricorns can get very, pissy about that. So I think this full moon is really going to be where they really have to look at what they are needing to adjust and come into that real deep humanity, peace within themselves, and that deep soulness. So this, especially over the next few months, I think Capricorns are really going to have to look into that soulness of self. Geminis, I know they're going to have a very difficult year. Geminis this year is going to be, and I know many of you are like, oh, fuck, I've already had it. But it's because you're the twin, right? I think it's the word self-centeredness for Geminis. You're not always right. You're not, and this is coming out of that self-centeredness and saying, well, I didn't say that, and it, was my twin kind of thing. It's again, it's coming back into that humanity. And for Geminis, if you're not, you can find yourself in a very abrasive energy, and where you are constantly feeling things rubbing up against you wrong, and plus you have Mars in there till March, so, and he's retrograde right now for another 2 weeks. So this is into coming in and not being so feeling like you're so right all the time, or you have to speak your truth all the time. This is coming in and learning how to choose your words in a way that is definitely needed, definitely more in a soulful way, in an understanding way, and not shuffling off the blame to your twin side. So there's a huge responsibility that's coming in for a lot of Geminis, and I feel like this full moon is really, it's kind of like an activation for a lot of this energy for all of us. And even, I guess I'm going through all the signs right now. So for those who are just joining me, I'm going through all the signs. Aries, it's not being the troll. It's coming out and taking off the mask. It's coming out and saying, okay, here I am. I'm going to come in and I'm going to work with this. And I feel like for Aries, it is going to be this energy of transformation for you. You have to complete what it is that you start, and you can't be just thinking that you could do it all and be the soulful leader. You can't just be the one, I'm going to do it. This is the way I'm going to do it, and you're going to just do what I say. It's like coming out and taking the troll out, and that's what they're showing me, and allowing for you to stand in that and say, no, you know what, I really need the help. And a lot of this is, a theme for this year of community, and I've been stressing community for a long time, and coming together in community has been a huge factor, and with, as with Aries, especially since you can't just be blaming Chiron all the time, because you've had Chiron in your sign for a while now. But to blame Chiron and say, oh, I'm so wounded, I'm so hurt, life is so rough. It's like, okay, are you allowing yourself to look at things in new ways, or asking for help, or, this is going to be an important piece. And it's the other thing too, is that you have Jupiter coming into your sign. So that's quite a force. Now, Jupiter, when he's, he's there now, he's at 1 degree. Chiron's at 11 degrees. Excuse me, you still have Eris in there. I mean, Eris, I think we're all born with Eris in Aries anyways, because she's got a very slow move. But this Jupiter coming in is going to be very fast. It's going to be very quick because it's going to move on. And in the second half, it's going to be in Jupiter, which is like, if you're joining me on Friday, we're going to talk a little bit more of what Jupiter Taurus is going to be for us and what that activation is, and what Saturn in Aquarius is going to be, because Saturn is going to be going into, not Aquarius, Saturn is in Aquarius, but Saturn's going to go into Pisces. So it's going to be very much a Saturn Neptunian time over the next several years. And that's going to bring in some crazy gnarliness, especially again. Okay, so let's go into Pisces. I mean, you've had Neptune in your sign. Now here comes Saturn. Saturn will be coming into your sign later on this year too. And Saturn wants structure. Saturn wants things done. Now everybody knows the Piscean. They really don't have structure unless you give them a list and a timeline on when shit has to be done. And had Jupiter in there, and Jupiter and Pisces together, I mean, they're brothers, so the house has been a shit show. And Neptune has been the one who's been like, hey, look at all of this. This is all glorious. This is all wonderful. And we got to, do these things. And Saturn's coming in and really bringing in those structures and saying, no, this is what it's going to be like, because I got to clean up Jupiter's shit now. It's been a shit show in here. Let's get your shit together. And if you're thinking that you're going to be doing it the same way you've always been doing it, or you're going to hang on to these pie in the sky dreams, and Jupiter's saying, yeah, we could do it again. We could do it again. And I'm sorry, Pisces, you're not. Saturn's coming in and saying, okay, we got to put down some structures here. We got to put down something and bring it into grounding, bring it into this earth. And if you've been having difficulties with that, Saturn's going to be quite a blow for you coming in there and bringing that energy forth for you. So Pisces, I think you're, with Saturn coming into your sign later on this year, and with Neptune there, because Neptune's like, I don't want Dad here. I don't want him in here. And Neptune goes, I'm the ruler of this house. This is the way I do it. So they can be very stubborn. They can be very, mouthy and rude because he doesn't want to listen. But Saturn, Saturn's the second biggest planet, and Saturn has a slow burn, and he has the way his rings are, he's got a very far reach on how he will get things done. And he'll be like, okay, really, Neptune? Really? Okay. So that's the way Saturn works. And even we've seen it, we've seen that struggle over this last 2022 with the squares in 2021, when the squares of Saturn and Uranus were coming in. Right? Because Uranus is the new and innovative, let's go through it, and Saturn's the old and wanting to hold on to the old structures, the old regime, and the old way of doing things. And this is the way that we've done it. And, this isn't the way we do it. This isn't the way that we are going to create things. So, Saturn, we've had a lot of Saturnian energy. And in ruling energy, because Saturn's been the ruler. Like, it doesn't matter that you want new innovative ways. Saturn is still hanging on there because he ruled Capricorn. He rules, Aquarius. He is that ruler. He has that energy. And when you go into a sign that, the planet goes into a sign that it rules, that energy becomes very strong. And very like, oh, this is, no, I don't give a shit who's here. This is my house. This is the way I do it. And so even though that Uranus, is the ruler of Aquarius, he's the new ruler, right? Saturn's been the old ruler. Saturn's been the ruler of Aquarius for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Uranus was founded in the 1600s. Right? So it's like, You're just a baby in all this. I don't care if you're in the God realm. So bringing that structure, and that's the same way as he goes into Pisces. He's going to be bringing some kind of structure in a very energy that is very boundless and etheric, so he's trying to bring in some grounding into all of this. So that could cause a little bit of bumpiness, and again, if you're going to join me on Friday, you will find out more of what kind of bumpiness for all of us that could look like. Let's go into Aquarius, because Aquarius, I mean, you've had your ruler in there, this is the way I've been doing things, and now you have Pluto coming in here. Now Pluto he's going to be in Aquarius for 20 years. It's the longest where he goes in, and he hasn't been there since 1778. So we got to look at a lot of the energy of 1777 to 1778 and what that was. And it is the searching of the deepness of the soul. This is where a real true faith comes forth for you, Aquarius, and stepping into that faith, stepping into that humbleness and that humanity. Now, a lot of times it's when we've had with Saturn there, it's like, this is the way I am, and this is the way I'm going to do it, and that's it. But with Aquarius, it's like, okay, no, you got to come in with a partnership. You got to come in with that true, authentic community and that humanity of who you are, because Pluto is the disruptor. He's the disruptor when he goes into signs. He disrupts things. He brings things up that we don't want to look at. So this is where in Aquarius, it is, that community and that, wanting to be estranged in a very crazy way. And Pluto is like, but you got to start with your uniqueness and your soulfulness, and come in with that unique and soulfulness, and allow for you to stand within your own humanity with all of that. And that's going to be a struggle. And for some of us, 20 years of coming in Aquarius is going to be a rude awakening. A huge rude awakening of how we are creating the world that we want to create, and bringing that forth. And the word, when I hear the word globalism, it's quite, again, I'll be talking about this on Friday, but globalism is that anytime anything comes in that wants everybody on the same frequency, and that's what Aquarius is. Aquarius is frequency. And then comes Pluto. You want to be on the same frequency as everybody. If one bulb goes out, they all go out. We weren't made to be on the same frequency as everybody else. We weren't made to be in that everybody does this at this time, everybody does this, we go like this. It's not. As humans coming into this earth and bringing in our creativity onto this earth, because I believe that we are all hybrids, that we are all star seeds that have come here with a frequency, and we came here, many millenniums before to plant our seeds, and now we are at a time where we are having to really bring forth that uniqueness within ourselves. And Aquarius, and Aquarian energy, is really going to be the forefather of this. I said forefather of this. Interesting. So bringing that in. Now, as we go around, and I know I started to touch Capricorn and stuff, let's go into Taurus. Oh, shit. I mean, Taurus, you have Uranus in your sign. He will be going direct at the last half, but he'll be moving out of your sign in 2026 and going into Gemini. That's another shit show of what happens when Uranus goes into Gemini. Look at your history. But you also have Jupiter coming into your sign later on this year. And with Jupiter coming to your Uranus there's a lot of expansion and changes, especially when it comes to how you deal with your own personal self, your own personal money, and what that means. And what are your values? Because Jupiter really is going to look at things. Oh, you think that's your value? You think that's your belief? He's going to expand it, whether it's good or bad. That's what he does. And with Uranus there, he's the crazy grandfather that's going to come in and just sort of throw that curveball in and say, yeah, you thought it was like this, ha ha ha. You know, and with Jupiter there, I mean, it's like grandpa and the grandson, you know, here they come in, and the players, and grandpa still has the upper hand, and they're in an earth sign. So this is very a fixed earth sign. This is very going to come in and bring in some real crazy obstructions within this world, obstructions within this, within your life, as Jupiter comes in the later half of this year. And also with, I got currency, so different currencies are going to be coming in, and we're going to see that coming really more so. The adjustments are going to be coming into 2023 and then going into 2024, but the big ones are really, you know, as we go into 2025, 2024, 25. So Uranus, you know, Jupiter's going to come in, and he's going to conjunct with Uranus, and it's, you know, it's going to be quite the explosion within your life. An explosion in the adjustments that you're going to have to make, and the disruptions could be very I mean, the thing Uranus disruptions is not that he's looking at, he wants to you, he wants to expand you, he wants you to enlighten you, he wants to bring such goodness to you and make you really look at your own self and your own truth. And a Taurus doesn't like to do that, because a Taurus is stubborn. It's a bull. Like, I'm not going to go out and do something I don't want to do, but you're telling me I have to do this. It's like walking, if you've ever walked into a Taurus's house unannounced, one, don't unannounce yourself. But when you walk into a house that is that is unannounced, they're like that, put it that way. So I mean, that's just the way they are. So but they're going to get a lot of things coming into their life that are unannounced, a lot of things coming in that are disruptive. So that's going to be quite a big thing for Taurus, especially this year, in those adjustments. Cancer, you got to get out of yourself. I'm sorry. I have a Cancer moon, Cancer rising. You got to stop mothering every fucking thing. This is where, you know, for you, it is stop taking everything so fucking personally. Cancers. It's not all about, oh, the woundedness, oh, this, oh, that. No, Cancer is like getting up and showing your true strength. It is that rising of the divine feminine energy within you, the true mother, the trueness, and not being so wishy-washy. I think and in doing that is going to help you to lead you to the things that you love to do. You know, and I think, you know, with Cancers, if there's been woundedness, because you are the house of the home, the family, right? And bringing in that home and family is important. Knowing that home and family, like, what is that home and family? What is that structure of that home and family? What is that foundation? Knowing your foundation is so important. If you don't know your fucking foundation, then you're going to be the one who's going to find that you are going through another year of, oh, life is just so hard. Oh, that's so horrible. I just, I'm sorry. Cancer, I got it. I get it. I got Cancer in my sign. I got that moon in my sign, and that rising sign. So that means I got to rise up to the truth of my own structures and foundation. It is so important, and you're going to be the one who's going to be the teacher of saying, hey, do you know your family foundation? Knowing your family foundation is going to be very important. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't like my family. I don't like this, right? They're always going, I want my soul family. you were born into a certain family for a certain reason, and understanding that foundation is going to help you to be able to expand, to explore, to actually bring in those definitions of of the truth of who you are, and allow for you to be even stronger and more vibrant and the leader that you are, because you're a cardinal sign. Leos, oh, you guys think you got it all, right? Oh, my lovely Leos. Um, well, you're opposite Aquarius, so you're going to get blasted with Aquarius energy. You're going to have a lot of oppositions with Pluto. Um, Oppositions can be a little bit easier than conjunctions, because conjunction is like they sat right beside you on the couch, and this is the way it's going to be. Um, but that means you got to look at your formation. It can't be all about you. It cannot be all about you. It's very important, especially for Leos, to really bring in the harmony and the strength of community. You are the fifth house. You are the one to bring forth the playfulness and the love and the joy and things along that line. But you can't be the center. That's going to be the hardest part. You can't be the center of everything. And I know a lot of Leos are like, yes, I can. Because Leos usually have the biggest egos. They don't think they do, but they do. Because they are the sun. We do rotate around the sun, right? So they do believe that they are the center. And this is a year of finding that, okay, maybe I'm not the center. I don't have to be the center. And this is really opening up the doors and the harmony to really connect truthfully with the people that you need to really connect with, and allowing for them to shine as well. So this is really, I think there's going to be some changes and adjustments. I think adjustments into how you do your day-to-day life, how you do your connections with family and friends is going to be such a big one. This is going to be a huge one. So feeling good, this Virgo. That's awesome, Arlene. This is Leos, you're gonna have an adjustment. Just saying, it's gonna be an adjustment. Virgos. Well, Virgo, it's where perfectionism has to go out the door, and where you thinking that you have to go in and clean up everything. No, that's not what it is. This is a year of really allowing for yourself to really truly look at the truth of your routine, and if the poster isn't straight, walk by it. Walk by the poster that's not straight. You don't have to fix every row. You don't have to fix everything that isn't in the alignment that you think it should be. This is really a year of bringing into your, I got uniqueness. This is really bringing in a diversity for you in a new way. And if you are thinking that I've always done it this way, this is the way I've always done it, it ain't going to happen. You're going to find that you're going to be batting your head up against the wall because you can't do it that way anymore. You've got to find a new way of doing it, or, and bringing in something very innovative with that. And that's going to be a big push for you in this year in doing that. So if you see something that's crooked, let it be crooked. Don't have to straighten it all up. That's just not. Keep walking. Keep walking. So you don't have to organize, fix everything that's around you. So that's going to be a big part of this year. And as we go into Libras, it's adjustment. The notes are going to be going into Libra and Aries later on this year. So this is the truth about your whole relationships and what your relationships are. And this is really much where Libras have to understand that, and understand their own relationship within their own selves, and really get over the anger, get over whatever you're mad about, get over that part of you, because Libras can be extremely angry. They can be very they can be very self-centered, and with the South Node going in there's a real volatility about relationships, and the truth about the relationships that you have in your life. You got to find out where the loyalty lies within your life and within your own self, and not try and go around and be the wounded one all the time and trying to feel that, oh, I'm so wounded, and this is for you really, Libra, is that because you've come in to really learn about relationships, and having those relationships, there is, what's going to be beautiful is that you are going to get trines with Pluto over to your side. So trining with Pluto is really great. There's some real power in that. But you're also going to have where Saturn's going to be squaring the South Node. And with Saturn squaring the South Node, that means that there's some really deep energy of restructuring for relationships within yourself and with those around you that you are going to be challenged with over this coming year, especially in the later part of this year. So Libras, this is really like a big force for you. Scorpios. We think we have it great. No, we don't. Scorpios, I think, have become very wishy-washy over the last while, and have been very good at hiding away. And this is where, and I know within my own self, you can't hide away anymore. You got to come out with your Scorpionic self, because Scorpios are very good. I mean, when Pluto was in Scorpio, and plus Pluto loves to be in Scorpio because it can hide in a hole and entice you to come into that hole in many different ways. And with Pluto coming, not Pluto, but with this energy coming into Scorpio is like, okay, ending the South Node, saying you cannot continue to hide away in the way that you've been hiding away. You need to come out with your strength and get the shit done. You need to start pushing the boundaries that need to be pushed, and getting and helping with the awakening. And that being said, you are going to have those oppositions with Jupiter. You're going to have the oppositions with Uranus, which you've already been having, and having the squares with Pluto. And as Pluto goes into Aquarius. So this is really shaking up your foundation. And how your foundation, if you've been really being meek and mild and hiding away, because Scorpios do. Scorpios love the darkness and love to hide away. There's no more hiding. You got to get your ass out there. However, you're going to get your ass out there. And afraid. A lot of Scorpios out there that are afraid. You can't be afraid. You got to know that you have that inner strength within yourself. And in having that inner strength is going to give you, the power, knowing that you do have that power. And when, especially with the square to Pluto, I mean, that is bringing in such awareness. Pluto always, when you come in and you realize your awareness, Pluto always has rewards. Always has rewards. Saturn gives you death. Pluto gives you rewards. Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Got onto a new frequency. Sorry about that, guys. My frequency just went haywire, and I'm back. As I bring in Sagittarius. Sagittarius, I think, there is a part where I feel I get hardness with Sagittarius. So there's a breakdown of that hardness, and coming into where you feel you have to get everything done, or you have to get all of this together. And this is where I feel like Sag, because you're always you there is a judgment there with you, and you're, with your ruler, um, going, your ruler going into, Taurus. I think that there's going to be some pieces there of really looking into what is my soulful truth, and coming into that soulful truth for oneself. You are the higher part of spirituality, of shooting the arrow, right, and trusting in that divine shot, and of the arrow flying. And this is where you have to practice that. And with Jupiter going into, I think that's a big one for you, because that's really going to have you find that foundational work that you've been kind of searching for a very long time. So yeah, I know I keep cutting out. As things are happening, things keep cutting out on me. So sorry, the frequencies keep changing, and that's totally about this year too. So Sagittarius, I think, this is looking at the new foundations of your world, and not finding that that place that you need to be in, finding that place that you need to find the foundation and structures of what it is that you need. So it's a pretty gnarly year. That's what I'm saying to you all. It is a gnarly year. This is a year of soul healing, heart changing, radical acceptance, and compassion for all of us. This is a huge year of harmony and bringing in within our own selves and within our earth walk as we go. One of the, with the planets moving out of the great changes that are coming, and the outer planets that are changing, we're moving into a lot of individual timelines. And those individual timelines is where I saw a couple of years, there's so many different timelines. I feel like they're coming in, and these timelines are really coming into a flow. Yet it's not timelines where everybody has to be on the same frequency. And what is happening on Earth is aligned with everything that's happening in the stars. It is, when you start looking at the heavens and how things are structured, God is trying to show us, or the goddess is trying to show us, that there are things that are happening that need to happen, that are, whatever you think about the WEF and everything else, they're doing this alignment that's been set up for a long time. Since even 1994, these setups have been happening for a long time. They're coming to a culmination. And this culmination of energy that's coming together, that is having us to really look at it. And anytime that there's been where a oneness, or one government, or one, this is all, I got to rule all of this, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen because it doesn't work. The frequencies of us, each individual person has a different vibration, and those vibrations are all unique in how things are adjusted and set up within the world. Some frequencies you may not like, some frequencies you love, right? So we all have them, but we all can't be on the same one. So that's going to be part of what we are doing, and part of what the rising, what we have been doing. And I've talked about the rising through the darkness, and rising, as we adjust ourselves and going through the purgatory and going in. So it is one of those huge adjustments of what we're going in. 2023, I think there's going to be some greatness that comes in this, but there's going to be huge adjustment in coming into that greatness within our own lives, and how we see that, and how we want to do that. So there's more into the mastery of the levels of consciousness that we are needing to step into. and looking at that mastery of within our own selves and what that means, and not getting caught up in all the craziness in the world that is happening. Be aware of it. Definitely continue to prepare. And I will be talking a lot more detail about, that preparedness that you are going to have over the next 5 years, and what that preparedness, may look like. The thing is that, when I do my predictions and I do these things, I may be wrong. And God help me if I am wrong, because that would be absolutely fabulous. But this is where we really have to look at the adjustments that we have to do within our own selves, and the mastery that we need to be doing, and the great changes great change in the outer planets as they move into different signs that they haven't been in. Some of them haven't been in for a couple hundred years, and we haven't lived through that. And the convergence of all these different timelines coming in at the same time over the next 5 years, and what that means. So today it is, we are stepping into the adjustment. We're stepping into the energies that we need to adjust and work with. And we're going to notice a lot of things are going to change and readjust on a continual basis. So if you are wanting to join me on Friday, let me know. It's $30. It's 7 p.m. Friday evening, and it is going to be on Google Meetup. I am not going to be doing it on YouTube or Facebook or anything like that. It's on Google Meetup. I don't do Zoom anymore. Zoom just got overly priced. It's like crazily priced. So I'm doing it on Google Meetup. Until one day I have my own platform and I can do it all on my own platform. So in my own studio and everything else like that. One day, that's there. So love you all. Those who've ordered their and who've signed up for the new moon and full moon mini readings for 2023, you'll be getting them this week. And so look for that in your inbox as well. So onwards and upwards, everyone. May the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. They just showed me to get on the back of I got like back of a seahorse, and let's ride through this Neptunian energy and what Saturn and Neptune have to give us over this next year. So it's going to be quite a ride. Blessed be everybody.